function notation, I really quickly want to talk about using linear equations and plugging things in. So it says review number 1. We have been working with linear equations, right? If y equals 3x minus 10 is our equation. What form is that in? Y equals 3x minus 10. Slope-intercept form, which is y equals x plus b. Using this equation, find the value of y when x equals 7. So what is that telling me to do? Plug in 7 for x. So we're going to plug in 7 for x, and that will help us solve for y. Okay, what's 3 times 7? Minus 10? Yep. So y equals 11 in this case. So when they tell you what x is, and they say solve for y, we just plug that number in for x. Okay, so we learned yesterday that functions are relations that follow the rule where every x value has one y value. Right? That's what makes something a function, is it has one x value to every y value. Which value is our input? X. And our output is y. Which one represents the range? Y. And domain is x. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna jump into the notation for function. It's called function notation. Instead of using y, we're going to use f of x. Okay, f of x. F of x and y are the exact same thing. Okay, a lot of people tend to forget that f of x and y, you can just interchange them. They are the exact same thing. The reason that we use f of x is because it is a simpler way to talk about plugging in an x value. Okay. So you say f of x is how you would say that. Okay, so if you look at the first table there on the left, it is a function. Why is it a function? There's no repeated x's. But if you look at the second table, right, there's a repeat there, okay, of -3 right here. So that tells us that that is not a function. A little review from yesterday. Okay, so evaluating. It's kind of what we did in that first question. Okay, so evaluate a function for a particular x value, just, we'll say substitute. Just substitute and then simplify. Okay, so here, in the example, it says f of x equals 2x plus 1, find f of 3. What's the, what x value am I plugging in? 3, right? So this is f of x. So 3 is literally replacing x. If I plug in 3 here, 2 plus 3 is 6. So 2 times 3 is 6. Add 1, y would be 7 in this case. Okay, now I'm going to go one step further, and I'm going to say, write this as a coordinate point. Okay, so what is the x value of my coordinate point? What did we plug in? We plugged in 3, right? And our answer for y was 7. So your coordinate point then is 3, 7. You tracking with me? Yeah? Okay, so example number 1. For each of the following functions, find the output when you're given the input. Right? So here we have f of x equals 3x plus 7. Find f of -3. What am I going to do with that -3? Say that again. Plug in -3 where you have x. So you're literally just replacing x with -3. All right, 3 times -3 is -9 plus 7, -2. So f of -3 equals -2. That's what I want you to do. Write it as a coordinate point. What's my x value? And my y? All right, letter B. We're plugging in 20 for x in that case. So 1/2 times 20, right, that's 3. What's 1/2 times 20? 10. Minus 3 is 7. So g of 20 equals 7. I want you to write the coordinate point on your paper. You should have 20, comma 7. Yes? Ah, very cool. Oh. Is that what you got? Yeah. All right, letter C. Okay, this might look intimidating because of the radical. Don't worry about it. Okay, don't worry about it. We're still plugging in 4 for x. Okay, yeah, keep in mind, that square root, it is over the whole thing. So make sure you put it over the whole thing. All right, what's 2 times 4? 8 plus 1 is 9. Does anybody know the square root of 9? 3. So h of 4 equals 3. So your coordinate point is 4, 3. Do you have a challenge on your paper? Say challenge, okay. So this is given the function k of x. Now wait a second. That's not f of x. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter what letter is there on the outside. Okay, you're still treating it like it's y. And we're going to plug in our x value. So they're asking now, what is k of negative 2? Let me scroll up. I know some of y'all are having issues seeing. Let me get rid of this guy. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take k, and we're going to plug in negative 2. So we'll do 2 to the negative 2nd, okay, kind of weird, that's why it's a challenge, plus 3. All right, so I want you to grab your calculator. I'm going to show you how to do this in your calculator. And if you have it in Fire, try to find the caret button or the exponent button, okay? So you can locate it. Okay, so for my 83, 84 friends, okay, we're doing 2, so press the number 2. And then do you see this caret button right here? Right above the division sign. You're going to press that, and it'll create a little box for you. And you can type in your exponent of negative 2. Now this is where some people tend to have an issue. If you look at your cursor is still in the exponent, yes? You see it? You have to press the right arrow to take you out of that. Okay, so what's the end of my function? Plus 3. Okay, and it'll give you a decimal. We can do math, enter, to give us the fraction. Okay, so 3.254 and 13 over 4. So my TI Inspire friends find the caret button. Yeah, no. It should be. Is that what we're doing? Because that was a Oh, it's right here. Okay, right here next to the x squared. Okay, there's like a little, it looks like a little caret. Okay, so it'll hit that, it'll take you up. Same deal, you have to press the right arrow to take you out. Okay, anything not get it? Okay, anybody else have an issue? Okay, so 13 over 4 or 3.25 is our answer there. Okay, so if I write my coordinate point, it should be -2, comma 13 over 4 or 3.2. Tracking, you good? Okay, let's keep moving. Okay, so function notation, right? We have output and input. So the reason that we use f of x is because of that input situation. It's just a lot easier to show what our input is, okay, and our output is y. There's something I really want you to focus on here, okay, and it's this: that y equals f of x. Does any of you know what word replaces equals? Like what English word? It's just a two-letter word. Y, yes. Y is f of x. So when you see equals, okay, think is. Y is f of x. They are the exact same thing. Okay? The only thing that's different is just the way they're written, the way they look. Okay? But they mean the same thing. Alright, can you do number 2 on your own? You think you can do number 2 on your own? Yeah? Okay. Give number 2 a shot. And I'll change the second. So all you're doing is you're using the same function, okay, for all of these. Utilize your calculator to help you. Okay? We're practicing on that calculator a little bit.
Because my sister whipped the batteries out and threw them in the room, and I could only want to do.
Okay, you'll just have to just do the work, and then you'll have to just write that again. Make sure we're working, group. Gentlemen in the background. Thank you. Actually, we'll see if you can get C. It's a little different. Think about what f of x actually is. Okay, that might help you on letter C. So I'm going to talk about that with you here in a second. See if you can make a good educated guess of what's going on. Okay, did we go okay on A and B?
Yes.
Any issues there? Okay, C, it says find the input. What variable is the input?
X.
Okay, now let's just pause there. Go back to A and B. What did we find in A and B? Y, and Y is the output, right? So we're doing the opposite in letter C. Here's what I want you to notice. Over here, we did f of a number, right? So like here, if we want to do f of 13, we would replace 13 with x. But that's not what is happening. Right? What is happening here is we're saying y, what's equals mean, is 13. So now I'm telling you y is 13, find x. You with me? We're doing the exact opposite? Okay, so let's go ahead and write down our function. I think this is going to make life a lot easier. Okay, so we're going to write down our function. What am I going to replace for 13? F of x, the whole thing. Okay, so f of x, right here, I'm going to put in 13. I replace the whole f of x, not the x, the whole thing. Can you tell that all of my students in the previous year struggled with this? Because I keep explaining it. Okay, it is just something that people mess up. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to help you through this. All right, so now we got to solve for x. What's our first step in solving for x? Subtract 7. Okay, which would be? It should be 6, okay? Yeah, 6 equals x over 3. How am I going to get rid of that 3? Multiply by 3. So in this case, x equals 18. So it's different, okay? It's different than the other two. So we write this coordinate point, it's 18, comma, 13. That does not look like a 13. Let me try again. Okay, we're going to keep moving. We'll get more practice on that. Okay, so right here, a little explanation. When the number is in the parentheses, oops, it's an x value. Okay, when it's after the equal sign, it's a y value. Okay, so like I said, f of x is, it's the same thing as y. And you need to set it equal to the function and solve for x. So in that last one, we solved for x instead of y. All right, here we go. We're going to get some more practice on that. Given the function g of x, find the following. Okay, now let me just add before you even start. On part A, what variable are you going to be finding? Y, right? You're given x. Now you remember, this is x, 4 is x. You're going to solve for y. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to let you do that on your own. Okay, do you agree with me?
Yeah.
4, 7 is our answer there? Okay. B and C. What are we solving for? X. This is where it's different. Okay, so now, when I say g of x is 16, where am I going to put my 16? The whole thing. Okay, so where g of x is at, we're getting rid of g of x, and we're plugging in 16. Okay, now we got to solve for x. Go ahead and solve for x.
It's minus 5.
Yeah, it's minus 5.
Oh, sorry, thank you. What would I do without you guys? You're making math mistakes all over. Okay, you should get 7 for x. You should get 7 for x. You agree? Issues? Questions or concerns? You get to do C all on your own. Yay! You're so thrilled. Okay, give it a shot. How so?
Flip it around because it's X and
Okay, issues on letter C? You all right? Word? Too easy. Okay, let's do some word problem stuff. All right, boiling water at 212 degrees Fahrenheit is left in a room that is at 65 degrees. So before we keep moving, think about water. Okay, think about if you're at home and you boil some water on the stove and then you turn off the stove. Okay, say it's 65 degrees in your house. Eventually, what will be the temperature of that water? Will it go below that? What do you think? If the temperature in the room is 65, it shouldn't go below 65, right? Like it should go to room temperature and then stop. Okay, so that's what's happening. Okay, so what happened is at each hour, okay, we measure the temperature. Naturally, it should be going down. Okay, so it says in part A, evaluate T of 2. Now, what does T represent? T is time. Oh no, I'm sorry, T is temperature. Okay, T is temperature. Sorry, H is hours. Usually T would be time. Okay, so H is hours, T is our temperature. So T of 2. Okay, this is after 2 hours, the temperature is what? Look at your table. 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so after 2 hours, the temperature is 104 degrees. Okay, now the T of 6. Kind of very similar, but now we're after 6 hours. So after 6 hours, the temp is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So right here is how we found those last two names on the table. Okay? See, for what value of H? Ooh, interesting. Okay? Is T of H 76? So 76 is the temperature, right? And we want to know at what hour is 76? Hour 4. Okay? So the temperature is 76 degrees Fahrenheit after 4 hours. The reason I'm having you write these sentences is because it's the easiest way to learn it, okay? Or recall it, so maybe you've done this before. All right, letter C is a little different. Between what two consecutive? What does the word consecutive mean? Here?
In a row.
In a row, right? Happens one after the other, okay? Between what two consecutive hours will T be 100 degrees? What do you think?
2 and 3 hours.
Between hours 2 and 3, right? Because it goes from 104 to 85. All right, your next order of business is the practice. So go ahead and flip that over and work on your practice.